gotta admit, when it comes to the sword and sorcery genre of movies, I'm just not a major fan. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love The Legend of Zelda or a great role-playing game as much as the next guy, but there's just something about that style of movie I just can't really get into. However, take the sword and sorcery genre, put it in the hands of Toho, and add some tokusatsu effects in there, well, damn, now I've got to at least check it out. Yamato Takeru, otherwise known in the West as Orochi, the Eight-Headed Dragon, was released in 1994 and has all the same kind of shit in it that Godzilla fans would probably love, but it came out during the peak of Godzilla's Heisei reign, so it's perfectly understandable that the King of the Monsters completely overshadowed this movie in every way. Not deservingly so, though. Orochi is your basic swords and magic style of movie, but takes place during the samurai era and tells the story of two twin princes born to the Emperor. The younger of the two twins, Usu, is immediately considered a curse, and no way they're gonna drop a baby off a cliff. Holy fuck, they dropped a baby off a cliff. But don't worry, he gets saved by a giant phoenix. A bio-phoenix, if you will. That one's for you, buddy. I know the baby just sounds like he's having an aneurysm, but I'm sure in his brain he's like, what the fuck is going on? Wouldn't you be confused if you were born into the world only to be dropped off a cliff and then saved by a phoenix thing? Even as a baby, I mean, that'd fuck you up, man. You'd grow up weird. From this point, the movie gets a little jarring and jumps to Usu as a young boy. I love how the guy's like, don't go to the cave, and literally the very next scene, Usu's like, fuck you, I'm going to the cave. In here, he is given a medallion, and the knowledge that someday he will do great things. But not right now. Right now, he's just an insignificant little shit. Once he grows up, the movie finally starts. Now, Usu is played by Masahiro Takashima, who many Godzilla fans should recognize from his roles in Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2 as the guy who had a sexual fetish for pterodactyls, and his role in Godzilla vs. Destroyer. Don't worry, he's not the only Godzilla actor to make an appearance, but we'll get to that later. The first half of Orochi feels like a completely different movie than the later half. It's really weird. Usu is tasked by his father to go kill some barbarian chieftain, and along the way he meets a young woman named Oto, who has a wicked blade boomerang thing and fights evil by moonlight. Seriously, I can't be the only one who thinks of Sailor Moon when she does that shit with her hands. Once they arrive at the barbarian stronghold, we finally get to see some of them Toho special effects at work. I don't know how you'd even describe this thing. It's like a rock golem devil with hands that can morph into shit. It's pretty cool. Usu gives us his best orgasm face and turns into, well, an uglier version of himself and starts shooting eye beams. Look, this movie's fucking weird. This whole first half of the movie is shot really well and feels completely different from the later scenes. Everything is lush and vibrant, there's plenty of wide shots, it almost looks like something Akira Kurosawa could have made back in the day. Except for the fights. The sword fights specifically. I don't know what it is about these, but it doesn't feel like a movie. It feels like I'm watching an episode of Xena Warrior Princess or that old-ass Hercules show. Maybe it's the lighting or the camera, it just doesn't feel very cinematic. Now, remember how I said this movie was fucking weird? Well, when I first started this movie, I kept thinking, okay, it just seems like a Japanese-era swords and magic movie. But they kept hinting at a dude trapped in an ice UFO hurtling through space, so I thought, okay, at some point this is gonna get weird. Shit's gonna get wacky. Spoilers ahead, because I have to talk about this. Turns out the ice UFO is housing an evil god named Tsukuyomi, played by Godzilla 2000's Hiroshi Abe? Abe? I don't know. King of the Wide Eyes and, you know, the dickhead Katagiri. Well, our heroes Usu and Oto are teleported to the fucking moon. Yep, I guess we're on the moon now. The evil god now turns into the Eight-Headed Dragon on the moon. This thing is awesome, even though really it's just Ghidorah with 5 more heads. It even shoots lightning from its mouth at parts. That being said, they do a really good job with the camera angles here. This thing looks massive. When it moves, you can almost feel the weight of it. Just try to ignore the fact that somehow it's moving even though its legs aren't actually touching the ground. So you'd think, well, this situation seems hopeless. How could our heroes possibly win against this thing? I mean, Orochi fucking shoots them so hard they both fly into space. Because they're on the fucking moon. I can't get over that. But, oh, what's happening? fucking ninja robot. Holy shit, this movie just went to 11 real fast. Yeah, man, this is what it's all about. 8-headed dragons fighting giant robot monsters in space. This is immensely entertaining. Obviously, I'm not going to show the entire fight in this review because you just need to experience it for yourself. But if you're a monster fan, you should definitely check out Orochi. It's not a perfect movie by any means, and it's loaded with cliches, but the special effects are a lot of fun, and it's entertaining, and that's the best way I can describe it. Pure entertainment. It's just a shame it was so obscured by the mammoth shadow of Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla, but it really should be sought out.